If you haven't seen the first part of this story, do watch it before going into this video. The link is in the description. That day, after everything that happened, my mom was staring at the scary dark neighborhood the whole night after they informed the police about my missing brother. Well, Brad's mom was relieved now that her son is safe, but I knew there's something fishy going on. There were flashes of what happened that night that kept terrifying me. I questioned my sanity. The next morning, Brad walked down to the hall where I charged him. I have to admit I kind of behaved psychotically, but I desperately needed answers. He seemed innocent and seemed to have no clue of what went down last night. The police never found my brother. My mom and Ellen went back to the police station that morning, and I was left alone with Brad at the house. At one point, Brad walked to me and said with a comforting tone,
"Darling, you said you were strung by something, right? Maybe you were."
"What?"
"Hallucinating?"
It was déjà vu. He left with a smile in his face. I somehow had an instinct that Brad is evil. I took my car and left the place to search for my brother. A couple hours passed and my fuel was about to dry up. Right then, I noticed something. I saw Brad talking to a strange-looking fellow by the street. And after a while he got on his bike and drove. I followed them to a mansion that was a little far away from the city. This is where things got out of hand. I waited there, not sure about what the right thing to do. I wanted to call my mom, but if I am wrong again, they would put me in a mental hospital. After a while, I got the courage and sneaked in the place. When I reached into one of the windows of the place, I saw Brad fighting with that guy he was talking with on the streets. And then it came to me that Brad kidnaps guys and brings them to the mansion to do something. I stood there nervously. The front door was open. I picked up a rod and knocked Brad off to the ground. The other guy ran into the house and I didn't care. I just went to search around the house to find my brother. I fainted when I opened a room of dead corpses of teenage boys. I woke up and realized I was in chains. The exact place where no teenage girl wants to be in. Now came the surprising part. Brad was locked up in chains with me. I tried to speak with him, but he was hurt. Cause of me. Maybe Brad is innocent. I could hear the poor guy crying, and there were bruises and bite marks in his body. Then a man came inside the room, looked middle-aged and decent. By instinct, I acted like I was unconscious. A few moments later, I peeked and saw the man undressing himself. I was terrified. I didn't want to be raped. Well, he didn't touch me. The guy was gay and went for Brad. He rolled me to a corner and devoured Brad in the worst way imaginable. I was the one responsible for this too, cause I put Brad in this position. My heart felt heavy. And to finish things off, he killed Brad when he threw death threats at him. He left me in the corner like I didn't even exist. For the first time, I thanked God that I was a girl. That night I ran off the mansion when that man was drunk. So, I escaped. I ran furiously at the middle of the night and got hit by a car. And when I woke up in the hospital, I told the police everything about what happened. I came to know that the middle-aged guy was killed by one of his inmates that he kidnapped and tortured. And my brother was one of his victims as they found his body in that house. I indirectly killed Brad, and I still don't have a clue who my brother was chasing last night that he ended up in that mansion. Well, a year after the incident, I came to know that Brad had multiple personalities and brain damage. You solve the rest of the puzzle.